Hello and welcome to my channel. This is Lisa with Lisa's Faith and Budget Planning channel. I'm excited to be here today. I'm excited to be here with you getting into my monthly budget for the month of March. March came up on me very quickly, so I'm a little behind on my videos, but I'm excited to get into this. I've already closed out February. I know where my numbers are starting here in the monthly budget, and let's go ahead and dive into those numbers. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm excited to have you here. I do monthly budgets, paycheck to paycheck budgets, weekly check-ins, mortgage Mondays, and sinking funds setup and closeout. So those are my typical videos. I do have a couple extra where I do a scripture writing and prayer that I write on the previous page, which I haven't done yet, so that's going to be up a little bit late. That will go there. And then important dates and projects for this month. I do have a little quote I like to put on that page as well. I'm using St. Patrick's quote from St. Patrick himself, and I'm excited to put that there. It's a really cute, easy way to remember, your faith and things like that. So I like that. I do tithe. I do share that here. I don't share it for any other reason other than to show people it can be done, and you get to decide with God what that looks like. And so that's what we do here. I hope this is all encouraging to you, and we're ready to get started. Let's dive in those numbers. As you can see, I have everything written out here for us to save us a little bit of time. I write every bill, no matter how small it is, from $2.99 to $2,000. Whatever it is, that's what I have written down as a bill. You're going to see a little bit of changes here from previous months. Not a lot, just a little bit, and I will go over that as we go through this. Military retirement is the first thing I always put on here, and that is my husband's retirement from the Navy. $1,947.35. Next, we have VA disability, and that is $2,489.96. Our oldest son pays rent, and that covers his utilities and room and board and his groceries and stuff like that. He does get to keep some of it, and you'll see that later in March. In fact, on March 8th, he and I will be going to something called Lexington Con in Lexington, Kentucky, and it's near about 45 minutes from where we're at. And we do these cons every year. We're just doing the smaller ones because we can't afford the big ones anymore. And so I'm excited to go and see all the celebrities that are going to be there and take him around, and he saves up his money all year to do this, so I'm excited to take him. So rent and dividends, I know the rent, that is $8.27. Our checking account has dividends, and it's usually like 2 or 3 pennies. I will add it onto the end of this when I do the actual numbers, so that works out pretty good for us. And then salary, I am budgeting low for salary, $1,412.00. And when the actual comes, I will write that number here. Again, for salary, he gets paid twice a month. For my husband, he actually gets paid on the last day of the month, the middle of the month, and then the last day of the month. So that last day of the month pay is the first of the next month's income for us. So that's why I start in the new month with that income. I just don't use it. We used all the money for the month of February. We have nothing to balance forward, and I have nothing that's coming in that I am aware of. I do know we are not getting tax refund just because we did a Roth conversion and we have to pay taxes on that, and I don't know what that is yet, and I have savings that I'm going to pull from to do that. So you will see that another day when I finally make the appointment to go see our tax person. So let's go ahead and total up what we know is actually going to be coming in and what I plan at the lowest amount available for the budget as income. You want to budget low income and budget high for expenses to make sure you have enough covered. That way, if something fluctuates, you have enough money to cover it all. Okay, so we are looking at, and this is our standard every month, a minimum of $8,088.31. So the actuals will be a little bit different. It just depends on how my husband's paycheck turns out. It could be a little higher. Sometimes it's a little lower. It depends on what counties he's working in. He is a state employee, so it does fluctuate a little bit. But on average, this is what I can count on, and that's what I'm going to use. This is me budgeting low. And now we're going to budget high for all these expenses. So you're going to see a few of these repeated. It's because like my tithe check here, this goes to the church and I write a check. So I want to make sure I can account for both checks. I did this month combine the Roth for me and my husband into one number. So that's what we're going to do there. But let's go ahead and write down the budget. Tithe here, the check we write for the church is $210. And then we do also tithe to our favorite missionaries in the world. We love them. They're amazing. They're part of the Greater Europe Missions group, and that is $265.75. Now, my husband and I both have Roth IRAs. We're fully funding them from here on out. There's no, oh, am I going to fully fund them or not? No, we're fully funding them every year. I'm not pre-doing mine like I did in previous years. I couldn't afford to last year because my husband took a large pay cut from one job to the next. And starting this year, we're like, okay, we got to start funding it. We're going to force the budget to work and cut back on a lot of places in order to do this. So I pay $665 and my husband pays $665. And that's, is that right? $665 plus $665. Okay, I hit the number wrong. $1,330 for both of us combined. That way I had extra line items. I can add a few things in and not have to squeeze stuff in there. The next thing we have is the mortgage. So the mortgage went up. And it went up because of our escrow. And it went up for adjusted escrow from this year on the property values of our home and things like that. We're not doing a principal-only payment at this time. I wanted to continue to do it until it was paid off in 2038 when my husband turned 65, but this year we're just not doing it. Hopefully next year we can get back into doing that, but we will have to wait and see. I don't know. The mortgage now, including this year's adjusted escrow and what our shortfall was, combined together was $2,048.03. Next we have Spectrum. Now I do know Spectrum sent notification that we were using more data than we had previously. So that means we were streaming a lot more and we had a lot more going on. So I think they adjusted up on our bill, so it was $113. I haven't decided if I'm going to keep it. I haven't really looked at the bill because it's auto pay and e-bill, and I really don't look at it. I want to pull the previous months and this one and find the difference and see if it's still worth it or if I should try something else. And I kind of want to ask my neighbors about their experience so far with MetroNet, which is fiber that they've put in our neighborhood, if they like it, if it's working better and all that, and maybe switch to that. I haven't decided. Now, normally by this point I would put Amazon Music, but I went and looked into Amazon on my account and looked to find and see how much this month's was going to be, and it was up $1 than what it was previous month. So I was like, okay. And I noticed that they actually had an annual amount that you could pay. That meant you got 2 months free and you're only paying for 10 months. And I thought, oh, that's a good deal. I mean, we're paying way more than that right now. So it actually dropped the price from $10.59 to $9 and change. So, and then if I had stayed on with the dollar increase, it would have been like $11.59 or something like that. So I saved a couple bucks here per month by doing it this way. I did borrow enough money in cash from my sinking funds to pay it, and I'm going to be negative for a while on this line item in my sinking funds, and you'll see that in the sinking funds video. And so my Amazon Music for my husband, this Ultimate is what he uses, is actually now a sinking fund. And you won't see it on the bills here because that will be wrapped in with the total I use for sinking funds. So it saved a little money, and putting it annually helps and all of that. So that's what I'm doing there. So next I have Hulu Plus. So I like Hulu Live. We have the streaming service, and what else do we have? Hulu Live, Disney Plus, and ESPN Plus, and Hulu and Disney Plus have no commercials, so it bumps it up a little bit. And that's 101, is it 101? 101.75. Next is HP ink. I have HP printer and instant ink, and they just mail the ink when I run low. So I've already gotten my ink this the other day, actually. So I've been printing a lot more than usual. YouTube Premium, this is just so we don't have the commercials when we're watching YouTube. My sons watch YouTube. I watch YouTube a lot, and especially content creators like yourself that are on this platform. I love watching you guys, and I appreciate you watching my content as well. But YouTube Premium, I couldn't take the commercials anymore, and neither could my sons, so we got it for the whole family. I'm budgeting $50 for water, and once I know that amount, I will put that over here. It's usually less than that. It's closer to $35. Geico right now is $157. It did drop over $20 last year from last year, so I was thankful for that. Tithe, again, another check for $210. And then AT&T, that is my cell phone. We have 4 phones on our AT&T bill, and 3 of the 4 actually have a monthly fee. 2 of them will drop off in October and they'll be paid for. 1 of them is new this year, and that is my phone. So the bill is roughly $300 right now. It should be just under that because mine was $10.99 a month, the phone that I bought, and that's how much it increased from my original. So there was a setup fee, and then there was, activation fee and all that. I've paid all that. So now I'm just down to what is the actual payment for the monthly, and it should stay around that amount going forward. Now we're here at sinking funds. So sinking funds is a total of several individual items. I think it's 18 or 19 items that I'm funding, that I would like to fund. Now this is going to be high, and I'm going to budget high for this, but I have a $50 flexibility because I'm trying to put money away for escrow, and it's supposed to be $50 a month. This is the first month I'm going to try to do it. If I can keep it, I will. If I need it for the rest of the budget, then I will use it for the rest of the budget and change my mind later, and that's okay. I typically do not move the money from my checking into the savings account for sinking funds until the 15th of the month. So I have time to make that decision, and I'll know by then whether I need to not fund the escrow or fund the escrow. It's not critical. I mean, mortgage is going to get paid regardless of what is going on, but I just like to kind of budget ahead of time. So that is going to be $499.26. Again, we added the Amazon Music to this fund, so that increased it by $9, and then also the $50 for the escrow line item that I increased. So we added 2 funds that we didn't have before, and had some other increases where there's some negatives that need to be taken care of in there. So it's a little higher than I normally would put in there, but I have flexibility with it, and that's okay. Next thing I have is life insurance 1. This is me, my husband, and our youngest son, I should say, $87.56. And then my oldest son, I have a life insurance on him, and that's $33.16. Electric, I'm doing $275 because it was so cold. And unfortunately, we've had to run the emergency heat. March is crazy. March, we had to, February, we put a lot of debt on, but I didn't update the debt with you guys. I'm going to do that here in March, and we're going to do a whole debt video on it, and you'll understand why electric's high, as well as all the things. And I don't even know what the electric bill looks like, but we did run emergency heat, so I'm nervous to find out what that was like, and I still am even to this day. So things are happening. I'll tell you in the debt video when I film that. It'll probably be a week from today, so give me a little time. I got a lot of videos to get caught up on. A USCCA is my husband's bill, and that is $39 $17. Apple.com, this is my phone storage, $2.99 a month. Videos and all the things, photos, things like that. Vivint is our home security system, $65.82, and we love them. And then here's the monthly amounts we're going to be working with as far as what we plan for spending categories. This part is our variable spending. So we have $1,500 again for groceries. I still budget really high for this. Last month I didn't hit $1,300, but we had 2 days less than we do this month, and we were snowed in January and February. So with us not being snowed in, hopefully in March, hopefully it warms up, we're ready for spring. We'll see. We might spend over $1,300, so I want to make sure I have it high enough to cover everything. Restaurants, we have it at $400. I don't know if we're going to be able to keep it at $400, but we're going to try very hard to keep it at $400. Miscellaneous, we did really good last month. It was $100, and this month we're doing $100 again. Gas, we are doing $200 for the month because we didn't drive much last month, and we had a lot left over, which surprised me. But again, we were snowed in. I don't drive when there's ice and snow on the roads. It's not safe. I've had things happen, and I don't want to do that again. So there's that. And then $75 for copay. I know 25 of this should go to a doctor's appointment for my youngest son that we have coming up next week. So there's that. And then the prescriptions he needs and I need for the rest of the month. So $0 for unbudgeted. We don't plan for unbudgeted items. If there's anything left over in the buffer, a checking account, and I want to use it, that's the line item I use it for. Though once you see what the buffer looks like, you'll be like, there's no way. So let's total these two columns up, find out what the totals are, and see what our estimated balance is for the month. Okay, I have my numbers. Let's hope they're correct. So the salary and all the income here, $8,088.31 minus the $5,396.21 and minus the $2,691.14, leaving me a whopping 96 cents as my buffer. Oh, wow. That is crazy. So estimated balance and then actual balance. And there we go. So I will fill the actual columns throughout the month as things happen. And at the end of the month, when I close out my budget with the week 4 weekly check-in closeout, and the paycheck 2 closeout, which closes out my entire month, I'll go over at the end of that video what these numbers look like, and you can check those out then. But that is what we have. So pretty much everything that's coming in is going out. I am not balancing forward any money from February into March, and hopefully we add no more debt to our credit card. I don't want to add any more debt to the credit card other than what we've already planned. And yeah, that's where we're at right now. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one. I hope you have an amazing and blessed day. Bye. So you think we can